Full story. Found out my wife had secret boyfriend for 7 years. So I ruined the affair partner's marriage and did this. For those that haven't followed my posts, I'll make a short summary. Married 14 years. Wife, 42, and I 45 have had issues for years. Her constant criticisms, her total disconnect emotionally, and low sex drive led us to drifting apart. Aside from that, she was a great mother and truly worthy of the pedestal I put her on. I came across an email accidentally that led to me finding more emails from one of her friends. It was mostly declarations of love, but only from him and nothing from her. At this point, we had been separated for about 15 months. And although I was constantly trying to show her I could be what she wanted, she never really committed nor engaged in any way other than sex and then leaving. I had assumed an emotional affair for a year, so based on the dates. When I started asking for the truth about him, she always kept to the story of just a friend, and nothing ever happened. I admit I was pestering. She was already contemplating filing for divorce, and I guess this pushed her over the edge. One night, I basically begged her to tell me the truth if there was any so that we could at least remain on friendly terms for the kids. She said if I was this paranoid about her friends, then what's the point? The next day, with nothing to lose, I called him. I made it seem like I already knew and had more proof than I did. I offered him 2 options. Garrett, I would share info. I was sure he didn't know, or stick. I would burn his marriage. All I wanted from him was the truth. Apparently, they had been having a sex affair for 7 years, off and on every few months, and he helped convince her to move out and paid her rent. 7 years, which coincides exactly with when she started having problems in our marriage. And no matter what I did, she just didn't care. Now the revenge. I made him break up with her over text, like a douchebag, call me with her on conference and admit the whole thing to me, then hang up and go no contact. She's now completely screwed as she can't afford the place she moved to. She's lost her boyfriend that she thought was gonna leave his wife for her and started contacting me with apologies and overtures of friendship and maybe a fresh start. She also secretly forced him to call her. I made him conference me in and threatened to tell his wife unless he explained why he isn't following their plan and give her 6 months to a year of money for rent, clear case of extortion. Instead, he came clean to his wife and has now realized he wants nothing to do with mine as well. She's royally screwed. He lost his marriage. I smile every day now. Update. Quick summary. 18 years together, 15 married, 7-year secret boyfriend, months of reconciliation. So after 3 months of her trying, I caught her in a lie and saw the picture she took from a jacuzzi of a new Rondo due from his condo. She denied gaslight, same as before when confronted, but this time I just shrugged. She said, I have no feelings for you. And she showed no emotions as I cried again, then she left. No contact for 5 days. Then she called and said, we need to meet to talk about something important. Being the schmuck I am, part of me hoped it was her apologies, wanting to continue reconciliation. Other part knew it was gonna be something crazy, but at this point, I tried to prepare myself. Made a huge list of potential crazy crap she might say. Pregnant, moving in with him, AIDS, moving to foreign country, sold the kids to buy heroin, new job as exotic dancer, new job as life coach, CIA spy undercover, from the future to create savior of mankind, baby, Satanist to create apocalyptic antichrist baby, lizard person, alien pyramid builder, dimensional traveler, hiding from dimensional cops. Dimensional cop, hunting dimensional travelers. Infected with brainworms, reincarnated JFK Jr., complete with QAnon hat. Lesbian, had abortions, immortal being from Garden of Eden. Nazis experience to make super yoga being. Nihilist with ferret. Marvel villain cut from movies is too evil. Disneyland ride janitor, planning to get trans surgery. So she can literally screw me after metaphorically screwing me. Ate both kids is a part of a demon summoning ritual. Vampire Queen, Akasha. Raised by narcissistic wolf pack, secret love child of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I thought I was pretty prepared at this point. I had responses for any and all of them planned out. Mantra of Greyrock on repeat. When she got in a car, she asked if I was upset. I wonder what could possibly be upsetting me. The 7-year affair, only trying 3 months of reconciliation, or the new boyfriend made during reconciliation attempt. Asked her what she wanted and why it was important to meet. I brace myself for either a shape-shifting unicorn or her being Japanese, a transformation into Mecha Godzilla. Soon to be ex-wife. I want to try to be friends. I was happy I wasn't on the list, then irritated it was something I hadn't foreseen and planned for because it was simply too bizarre and crazy to be included. Do you have any friends that you lied and cheated on for 7 years? No. Then you still don't. If we were friends, I would let go of all the anger and hate I have for you. Now we're bargaining. I know how this works. Where's my golden fiddle or my matchbox of screaming beetles? Series 7 Carbon Neutralizer. I know what I offer. I'm sweet, caring, bent over backwards to help you numerous times in 18 years. What did you being my friend look like for me? Ping me a picture of what you're offering. Soon to be ex-wife. Clearly hadn't realized I would actually ask any questions instead of blindly accepting anything she offered. Starving men in the desert syndrome. Well, if you needed help, I would help you. In 18 years of knowing me, have I ever even once asked for help from you? No. Then why the F would I start now? Why he should be an adult and think of how this will affect the children. You mean like you did when you started screwing some rich stranger without protection and letting him finish inside you for 7 years? I knew you were too immature. She actually said childlike. Okay. So anything else we need to discuss? She's had their alternating between big anime, sad eyes, and waves of anger for shaking frustration. No. Well then, get the F out of my car. Later on, she sent me a text of talking about how she can't release her anger and hate for me. Minimized her affair by saying we had both done bad things. As if me lying about paying some bills late or taking a day off to hang with my buddy instead of working was equivalent to her 7-year affair. And then it was over. Which I thought was redundant. Considering her quote 5 days ago. I have no feelings for you. Let's see what the people think about this one. Cosmo Collar says, bravo, good freaking show. OP. It amazes me reading stories similar to mine in the sense of the wayward spouse, shifting blame and justifying their actions, and then wanting their cake and eating it too. Stick to those wonderful guns of yours and ain't nowhere to go but up from the bottom. The op responds. I think it's a great sign that despite my ever-present tears threatening to burst forth at every damn moment, my humor is coming back. A sign of healing. Railroad Position 43 says, your dialogue was masterful. May Wellflower times in. Don't need to be friends for anything after the divorce. Just don't be a holes badmouthing about the ex to the children when they are in respect to parents' custody. She is incapable of not being a holes to the kids. I'm sure the kids will eventually realize you're the better parent, but she or virtue of not being cheating lousy. Panana New 2546 says, did she tell you what's the reason for her anger for you? Is it that just only your existence reminds her of what a terrible person she is? Or is it her anger that why she can't eat the cake without harming someone? The world is so unfair. The op responds, the root of her anger for me is from daddy issues. Her father was wealthy. Big fish in a small town, well respected and regarded and completely emotionally unavailable and quick to anger for any perceived transgression. She idolizes and emulates him. She hates me because I'm not rich and don't ignore her and feelings. She told me once that her wish was I would be rich and busy. She could enjoy her life and do anything she wanted while I was away on business trips. Her fair partner of 7 years was a clone of her dad. Rich, no emotions, only met during the day to screw and ignore her otherwise. Sick, broken people. Moving on. Not sure how to keep going, or if I should even try. Male 29, female 3, married 6 years. I also posted this in relationship advice. My wife and I have been married for 6, going on 7 years now. We've got a couple of kids. We're buying a house and are a few days away from closing. We've both got good jobs, a nice car, money in the bank, and things seem good, or at least decent, on the outside. A few months ago, I discovered she was having an emotional affair with a friend of hers a few states away. It escalated pretty quickly. They were sexting and professing undying love for each other. I noticed because she became withdrawn, started guarding her phone, was often short with me, and acted like she would rather me not touch her at all in bed. And when we did have sex, it was clear to me she was somewhere else in her head. I'll confess and own up to my crappy part in this. I've been absorbed for a long time in work, managing our household, being with her kids, stuff she honestly hasn't been helping much with for a while. I didn't notice that her depression had morphed into something else. That's my fault. I should have been a more attentive husband, and the only reason I found out was because I violated her privacy due to my suspicions and gained access to her Facebook, Discord, email, text messages, and personal computer, as well as full access to her Google account, not all at the same time. It was a progression. I snooped hard for about a week, and then I confronted her about it. At first, she denied it. Then she said they were close. Then she said they were really close and that she'd been leaning on him and venting, but knew she'd cross a line and developed feelings. I gave her the chance to be honest and totally come clean. I listened. We talked. I thought we had a breakthrough. We agreed to be more honest, more open, to talk more, and to work on things, but something seemed off. She was still talking to that guy, but wasn't actively hiding it. In fact, volunteered the messages and said she didn't want to stop just yet because he was still her friend. I thought it was a bad time to push the issue, so I didn't say anything. But I went back into high alert. I started digging again, deeper this time. She said they never traded pic. They did. Some very graphic. And from their messages, I've gathered that she has masturbated while he listened to her. She said they had no plans to meet. They did. She said she didn't have feelings for him anymore. I found an email that said something very much different. Sent days after our talk. Saying she married me, knowing she didn't love me. There's a link to the email, copied to Word doc, sensitive info, and names removed. Fast forward to today. They barely talk anymore. Having in a few weeks, so far as I can tell. She's not a withdrawn and seems like she's more involved, is being more intimate with me now. The sex is better, and she seems okay for the most part. She's actually talking about the future now, plans with me, plans for our family together. But she still hasn't told me about anything above and bold. And I've asked her several times if it was more intense than she let on, or if there was more to tell. I haven't called her on it for the reasons listed below. Definitely. He's the one who broke it off, the fair part anyway, because of his wife. My wife resisted calling it quits, said everything was fine and not to worry about me because she had it handled. She told him she could make it out like I was crazy, making a big deal about nothing. But he called it quits. She doesn't seem upset about it, and they barely talk anymore. So I don't know what to think. Note: I kept all the evidence. I have screenshots, the pics she sent, the audio she sent, the email, and the full transcript of their messages back and forth. We're signing on a house in 11 days. We have kids, and she seems to have realized she screwed up, or she's playing the part. I don't know how she really feels. I want it to work. I believe it can, but I'm stuck in an impasse. If I fully confront her, lay everything out, she'll know that I dug down to bedrock, and I would understand if she was extremely upset about that sort of invasion. And if I keep asking, she'll keep lying. Either out of shame or something else, and I'll get more and more angry. I'm stuck, and I can feel myself sinking. Hence, the title, I'm on autopilot. Going through the motions to keep steady. You can find the link to the email in the description below. Superior terrorizer has the first reaction. She'll know that I dug down to bedrock, and I would understand if she was extremely upset about that sort of invasion. F that. Who cares if she knows? You're worried about her being extremely upset? What about your feelings? Her violation of your relationship far worse than snooping on her computer. She gave you ample reason to be suspicious and not trust her, so you had little choice anyway. I don't understand what you're doing. This is your future here. You're closing a house with her in a matter of days? You know the level she'll go to cheat and hide things from you. It's only a matter of time until someone else comes along and she cheats again. You could not trust this woman. I don't know how you can even be in the same room as her, let alone think about buying a house with her. She's disgusting, and you're about to go through life wondering if she's cheating every time she gets a text or leaves the house. Can you live like that? Go scorched earth. Show her everything you know. Show her how toxic she is and how she hurt you. There's no choice at this point anyway. You can't just move forward in the relationship while keeping this a secret. It will eat you alive. Tell her the house purchase isn't going to happen. Tell her you're through with her. Don't look back, you don't need this crap in your life. It's the only life you've got. The second says, do not close on your house until you first talk to a divorce lawyer and have papers ready. Then sit her down and set your wedding ring on top of the papers in front of her. Tell her she can either come clean or sign them. Give her clear consequences. To date, she's faced none. If she's asked how you know, just tell her that this is her one and only chance to be honest. One lie or evasion, just say, sign here. Reason to be drastic is because of where she is. If the marriage of her affair partner deteriorates, he could call her tomorrow and say, at a local hotel, come join me, and we can run away together. And she'd do it in a heartbeat. She has given herself to the affair partner. He holds her heart, not you. She hasn't had to face the fork in the road. Make her face that choice. Either her marriage, family, and husband, or her fair partner. If she hesitates, tell her to sign and leave. Make it as black and white as you can. Rub her face in the road sign. The only thing saving your marriage at this point is the fact that the affair partner trying. If that fails, he'll make the call and